You must understand those symptoms are coming from the tissue in distress. The best way to identify that tissue is through the interpretation of symptoms. So I spent the last quarter of a century cataloging symptoms and being able to identify what tissue is in distress. It turns out that in more than 98% of cases, it's actually a muscle that's responsible.
Eleanor, I understand you traveled all the way from Southampton to be here. Why was it so important for you to come?
Well, because I'm healthier, and I knew that Mitch's approach was the right one, and that is he took each patient individually and found out what was wrong or what the problem was, and then he handles it individually. Whereas everywhere else I've gone, they've all said the same.
Now I understand you had a torn meniscus because you had an accident, and you had an operation, but
Yes.
then you still had pain afterwards, is that right?
That is correct, and I've had it for 11 years.
And you just found Mitch in December, I understand.
Yes.
And so what have you been doing since then that's made the difference?
I've been going to Mitch, and his crew has healed me. The first time I was on the table, he manipulated my muscles, and then he asked me to get off the table, and I had no pain, and I started to cry.
Oh my God, that is a dramatic story.
And it's been that way ever since.
The Yass method is the path to getting the right diagnosis through the interpretation of symptoms, something I developed 27 years ago.
Susan, let me start with you. You had totaled eight spinal fusions, and you had problems sleeping afterwards, and somehow you found your way to Mitch. Tell me, what was he able to do for you, and has your sleep problem improved?
Yes, I actually saw, I was desperate one evening, and I was watching your television show, and Mitch was on the show, and he talked about helping people with acute back problems. My problem is skeletal as opposed to, I don't have a disc problem, and I was in extreme pain, and I emailed Mitch that night because you put up his website, and the next morning I received a phone call from him, and I went in, and it really was tremendous help. By the second time I realized that this is where I belonged.
Has your sleep problem improved? You said you hadn't slept for months.
Yes. Well, the acute pain was just keeping me up. I couldn't find a way to sit or lie. What happened is the orthopedist felt maybe I should do more exercise. So I was walking and I was doing a lot of exercise, which were counterproductive for me. And then I really had walked myself right into terrible pain problems. And Mitch relieved me almost immediately.
So if the question is, what drives me? Why, after 27 years, am I still as passionate today as I am the day I started this method that I created myself? It's because I've been driven by the very people I've treated. It is not easy to stand alone on an island and say to the world that the entire global medical system is baseless, is false, and you should leave that and come to me. The thing that has driven me most is the fact that I have treated hundreds of people who were suicidal from the extent of pain they were experiencing, literally coming to me and saying to me that if you do not fix my pain, you are my last resort. I am putting a bullet in my head tomorrow. That is the most sobering experience somebody can have when people have said that to you. And they're basically telling you their lives depend on your ability to establish the cause of that pain and resolve it.
I'm embarrassed to say that I was always planning an exit from the planet. I was always thinking that, well, suicide could be an option here. And it's very sad to think about, but I clearly do not think I could have gone on for much longer. So I really do appreciate you.
If you have a structural cause to your pain, who can fix that? You can't. Only the medical system can. If the cause of your pain is muscular, who's going to make you stronger enough to where you can perform your activities without pain? You. That's very empowering. It takes you out of the system. You're imprisoned by the system. Now you're not. You have the ability to resolve your pain, and best off, prevent it from reoccurring by controlling the amount of force your muscles create in relationship to the force requirements of your activity. That's what will get you pain-free and fully functional.
Hi, my name's Janine, and I've been using the Yass method for about 3 months now. Before using the Yass method, I felt like what I would describe as unmanageable pain. I saw so many different doctors, and I was really inactive for fear of the pain increasing. But we met over Skype, and immediately he just put all of my nerves at ease and really just broke down my symptoms in a way that didn't make me feel like there was anything wrong with me. And he really just emphasized my need for strength training. Now, since using the Yass method weekly, or like multiple times a week, I am able to do more than I could before. I can handle lifting more weight. Now I am able to manage my own symptoms. When I'm feeling an increased level of pain, I don't just have to run to the chiropractor or get a massage. And I just feel really empowered in that way. I feel like the Skype session that I had with Dr. Yass was more effective than so many in-person meetings I've had with other chiropractors and physical therapists. And I just feel so much more hope that I can continue to pursue the things that I love. And I would really recommend the Yass method for anyone who's interested.